What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the A Ward Show, episode number 2. I'm your host and curator and videographer and all the good things, right? I am A Ward, and I appreciate you guys tuning in for another week. Thank you for making the first episode successful. Thank you for all your love on social media, TikTok, Instagram, especially. I am on X.com as well. What else? Obviously YouTube, fan base as well. So hit the link tree. All my socials are on there. Make sure you go follow me, subscribe everywhere else. As far as the audio of this podcast, I am on Apple, I am on iHeart, and I am on Spotify and many of the other major podcast sharing platforms. So make sure, hey, you can't watch this video and you just want to listen because you gotta hear what A Ward is saying. Pull up on one of your favorite podcast platforms, look up The A Ward Show, and I'll be there for you. Now, for full context, to let you guys know time-wise, I am shooting this on a Sunday evening, so I will not have the ability to recap the Sunday night football games nor the Monday football games until next week. And that will all go into my analysis for next week's show. But I was able to see the morning games. I was able to see the afternoon games. Afternoon games did not disappoint. And I was able to see last week's Monday night football game and this week's Thursday night football game. So let's get into it in the sports section where I talk about sports, but I probably don't know what I'm talking about. This is Yo No Say Nada.
Yo no sé nada.
All right, let's get right into it. Let's start off with the NFL, and we're going to start off with the Falcons. Is this Bijan Tomlinson? I want to explain to you guys why the Falcons need to seize the opportunity that they have, not only with this running back, but with this skill core. And look, they took a shot. They took a shot with Kirk Cousins and paid him a boat ton of money. That obviously didn't work out. And then I think everybody kind of scratched their head when Atlanta took Michael Penix in the first round of the draft when they took him. And it did seem kind of odd. Now, Michael Penix was a later college player, so he was in college a little bit longer than a lot of the other young quarterbacks that are coming out. With the NIL, I think that's going to change. I think that's going to be more of a normalcy coming out of college because with the NIL, especially at the quarterback position, if you're good, you can get paid a ton of money in college. And so, therefore, there's no real need to come out unless you're going to be maybe a top 10 pick. But one of the things that we talked about with Michael Penix coming out of college was he is an older. Excuse me. I guess I've been watching too much football. I got football brain. Older quarterback coming into the league, and I saw him. Obviously, I watched him at Washington. I thought he played well. I wasn't sure how he would do in the league. I thought he would be maybe a good, solid starter. But then going to Atlanta to see the skill set that they already had there. I thought that was a perfect fit for him. Now, the thing was always when he did get drafted, like him sitting behind Kirk Cousins wasn't ideal because he came in a little bit later. He came into the NFL a little bit later. So it wasn't a situation where you could really wait for him to develop. He's already older coming into the league, and you kind of need him to spark right now. They finally made the decision last year to bench Kirk Cousins, who they still have on the roster, which is very strange to me, and put Michael Penix in, and that's going to be their future. But here's the thing. I don't know if anybody has been watching Bijan Robinson this year, and we'll talk about some other running backs on some other teams coming up, especially that boy they got down in Indiana. But Bijan is next level talented. Bijan is next level talented. There's a video out there, and hopefully I'll be able to find it and throw it in right here, of Bijan Robinson doing EDDs, everyday drills. And his footwork is spooky. Like Halloween's coming up. Halloween's right around the corner. Bijan Robinson's footwork is spooky. And I, growing up, was a huge LaDainian Tomlinson fan. Huge. If anybody remembers LT back in the early 2000s, and it was video game stuff, man. It was video game stuff. Like, there was a point on I forget what year it was, but Madden came out, and he was like Bo Jackson in the old Tecmo Bowl. He was unstoppable. Like, he was unstoppable in that game, and he was unstoppable in real life. And I look at Bijan's skill set, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, his size, his quickness, his shiftiness, but he can still run you the hell over. He is a next level running back that you have to pour into. And on the outside, when you look at Kyle Pitt, who didn't have a great year last year, but has all the requisite skills to be a fantastic tight end in the league. And then you add the Drake Londons of the world. Just overall, that team is skill heavy. And the Falcons need to figure out a way to be – now, they're not bad by any means. Don't get me wrong. They have a winning record. They've looked good, but they've also looked inconsistent. And so it's like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be we're going to lean on the run game, use the run game to develop the pass game, or are we going to go into every game like not knowing what we're going to do? Because sometimes they'll come out the gate and it's like run, and then the next thing you know, the next game it's like, let's see if Michael Penix is that guy. And I know that we fall in love with quarterbacks in today's NFL and in football in general, but sometimes, and I think most teams are showing, the run game has to be important. And it has to be used the right way. And when you have a guy like Bijan Robinson, you cannot squander this. You cannot mess this up. So shout out to Bijan Robinson, man. Super beast. And look, man, the NFL is better when the Falcons are good. They're just entertaining. It's Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how to get down. It goes back to the days of Michael Vick and all that, and even Matt Ryan for years and Julio Jones. The league is better. The league is better when Atlanta is good. So do not squander this, Falcons. Y'all got a solid one over there. Next topic. And this one's kind of funny to me, man. I feel like I was Oprah with the MVPs, with the MVP talk last week. People were telling me, man, you like Oprah with the MVP, man. Everybody's an MVP, man. Everybody's an MVP. Who's not an MVP? And look, I did say Baker Mayfield to me right now is a clear-cut favorite. He's the clear-cut favorite. I have Sam Darnold and Dak Prescott as candidates. And Dak Prescott played crazy today. Like he got CeeDee Lamb back. George Pickens has just really revitalized his career in Dallas. And that all looks good. Defense still has something to be desired, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get off of that for a minute. I do want to talk about something that somebody did bring up in the comment section of my TikTok. And they talked about Josh Allen. And no, this is not you get an MVP and you get an MVP and you get an MVP, but I do want to talk Josh Allen for a minute because this is really interesting to me. Josh Allen is weirdly like always going to be in that MVP conversation. And because he's so good, because he is so obviously, right, like one of the top quarterbacks in the league, a lot of people have him number 2 to Patrick Mahomes. Some people have him number 1 just off of his skill set. But it's a one-man show in Buffalo when it comes to Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen or bust. Like, and you're kind of seeing that with Baltimore, although they still have Derrick Henry there. But with Buffalo, if Josh Allen doesn't pass and like if Josh Allen could catch the ball himself, if he could throw the pass and catch the passes, he probably would, because that's the way they set up that offense in Buffalo. And it's been that way for years. And so I think when it comes to Josh Allen, he will always be in that conversation just because of what he actually does for his team. They are not competitive without him. They are not competitive without him. And so when you look at the landscape of kind of MVP talks, it typically trends towards quarterbacks. And that's why we're talking Baker Mayfield, right? That's why Dak has had a great year. He's in the conversation. Sam Darnold, I think, is in the conversation, although I think Dak might have edged that conversation a little bit today with his play against Washington. And prayers up for Jaden Daniels, who got hurt during this game. But I do want to say, man, Josh Allen is definitely a candidate just based on what he does for the Buffalo Bills. Let's go to one of their division opponents down in Miami, man. Too much. I'm going to tell you why the Dolphins need to stop echo communicating and what happened today on the field. Earlier this week, or last week, whatever it was, Tua had a press conference where he talked about players-only meetings and nobody showing up to the meetings, and we got guys who ain't there, and every week we got da-da-da-da-da. Look, man, I don't know who needs to hear this. Mike McDaniel, I don't know where you are. You're probably somewhere goofing the hell off because you be saying too much. Obviously, the whole situation that happened between last year and this year with Tyreek Hill, he was saying too much. But Tua got to shut the hell up, man. You're the quarterback, bro. Address that stuff in the locker room. Address that stuff in these meetings. You do not air that shit out for everybody to hear. Because now we know. Now we know. And it creates, as the quarterback, your job is to bring everybody together. Your job is to drive the bus, to steer the boat. You are the captain. Yeah, it's the head coach, right? Yeah, it's the culture. Yes. But you are the extension of that culture, and you are the one that is supposed to be implementing that culture. And if you want something to change to it, you don't address it out in the media. You don't address it out in the media. And as you see, it didn't help because they saw what I said about the Browns last week, and they said, hey, man, hey, Ward, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Yeah, you said they were bad. You said the Browns were bad. We're playing them this week. Hold my beer. Let us show you how bad we are. Let us show you how we are trying to echo communicate. Ain't no sound coming out. Ain't no sound coming out. That's like going to that's like going to SeaWorld. Going down to San Diego, going to SeaWorld, and you going to see the dolphins, and they never swam out. They never came out. They didn't say anything. Because that's how the Dolphins look. That shout out to Cleveland, man. They played defensively a fantastic game. And y'all know I love that word, fantastic. They played fantastic. And shout out to Quinshawn Judkins, the running back for Cleveland. They really leaned into the run game, and Quinshawn Judkins went off for a hat trick. He looked fire. Like, he was quick, getting through the holes with ease, and they were blocking well. The Browns played well. I got to give it up when it's good, man. When you do your job and you show up on the field, I got to shout you out, man. So shout out to the Browns, and shout down to the Miami Dolphins. Let's go to the Kansas City and Oakland game. And this is not going to be about Kansas City. This is going to be about Chip Kelly. I've been wanting to say this for a long time. Get Chip Kelly the fuck up out of here. I was trying not to curse, but get Chip Kelly the fuck up out of here. He does not belong in the NFL. I know Geno Smith has been bad. They put in Pickett today. I know Geno Smith has been bad, but you handcuffed Ashton Jeanty as soon as he came in the league. 2,000-yard rusher in college. Real Heisman candidate in college. and you change his stance, and Geno Smith has just regressed to the old Geno, dare I say? No, what, 9 picks, I think, through the first 6 games. I don't know what I had to turn that game off. It was a blowout. Don't know what he had today. You handcuffed this offense. You went to Philly and you handcuffed that offense. You went to San Francisco and you handcuffed that offense. Stay in college, man. You do great in college. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you do in college that's so different than the NFL. Maybe it's just the environment, the culture, players are older, they're grown. In college, they're still young kids, man. Still young kids, still trying to figure out life. And maybe that's it. Maybe they listen a little bit. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But when you are in the NFL and you are offensive coordinator, your job is to use the guys you have in the locker room and get the best out of them. And I don't want to hear no crap about Chip Kelly being an offensive genius. He's not. He's not. He ostracized all those cats in Philly years ago. All those cats in Philly. Go watch their part. Go listen to them talk about it. Go listen to LaShawn McCoy talk about it. Go listen to them. They'll tell you. Like, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to them. But Chip Kelly has to. I don't know what Pete Carroll was thinking. Look, I know they've known each other for many years. I don't know if he was going to revive Chip Kelly and like, hey, man, I'm older. Chip Kelly, I know you want to get back into the NFL. Here's your way in. I don't know, man. But get Chip Kelly up out of here, man. Get him out of the NFL. I'm dead ass serious. Get Chip Kelly the hell up out the NFL. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see your terrible freaking offense. You handcuffed Ashton Jeanty. And then when you finally did it, he freaking went off. And you still suck. Get Chip Kelly the hell up out of here. All right. Woosah. Now, let's go to a division opponent of them, of the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. In the Chargers, there was no outlet for the Chargers today as Indiana Jones, and really it was Taylor. They just unplugged the Chargers and didn't put outlet for them to plug back in. Game was closer in the end. It started off really bad. The score, I think, makes it look better, but Taylor he's on a Saquon Barkley tear right now. He is the best running back in the league, and it is not even close. It's not even close. He is running up and down the field, taking names, making folks retire. Not really, but you know what I mean. He is, and this is the secret sauce to Indiana Jones, to Daniel Jones. When he had that good year in New York, it was because the balance of the run game. And so this has just worked out. Indiana's the real deal. Indianapolis is the real deal. The Colts are the real deal. And what a great decision by them to go and get Daniel Jones. I didn't think it was going to work out, but they obviously saw something that they needed. They pulled the plug on Anthony Richardson, and I still think that to be kind of a weird decision, but it has worked. And this offense came into this year, and they said, we're going to rely. Man, we're going to look at what they did down in Philly. Look at what they did down in Baltimore. I think we can do that here, and they have done just that. So shout out to the Colts. Man, I tried to tell you guys last week about we got to chill with the Jalen Hurts. As soon as he has a bad game, this is why. This is why. He's not top 10. Man, he can't throw. Guys, chill. This is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, been to the Super Bowl twice. Does he look the part of the traditional quarterback? Is he a Joe Burrow? Is he a Josh Allen? Maybe they're more probably comparable in skill set. Is he a Patrick Mahomes? No. But this is football. Can you win? The guy that you have leading the offense, that has the ball in his hand every single drive of the offense, damn near every single drive of the offense, has to be able to get it done. And today, I don't know what conversation he and A.J. Brown had before the game, throughout the week, but he found him. He found him multiple times and was just dropping it over the shoulder. It didn't matter if it was single coverage, double coverage. He was getting the ball to his receivers, and especially to A.J. Brown, who had a monster game. If anybody had him on fantasy and you didn't start him, I feel bad for you. If you started him, good for you. You made the right decision. But, yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts. To all the Jalen Hurts haters out there, just chill, man. Chill. He's a good quarterback. If you don't have him ranked in your top 10, that's up to you. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I do. I actually have him as a top 5 quarterback because, to me, how you play and wins matter. And if you do your job and what you're asked to do and you win, especially at that position, I'll take it. But the Vikings, I don't know. They're going to figure some stuff out. I don't know. They have to figure some stuff out. Carson Wentz has that ship sailed. That Carson Wentz train is gone and it's never come back. It got lost. The tracks, it ran off the tracks. It's not. Yeah, that dude, man. And it's funny, man, because he, obviously was in Philly. So, anyways, let's go to the Green Bay and Cardinal game. No love, ain't no love for the Arizona Cardinals. Jordan Love, yeah, he got the win. No love for the Cardinals, but very close game, very competitive game. Looked like the Cardinals were going to win that game up until the end. They really had control throughout the game. And then Green Bay started to come back in the second half and really push it. They kept it close enough in the first half, started to come back and obviously ended up winning the game. But I do want to talk about the Cardinals for a second because this has been a conversation that's been brought up to me a couple of times. I live in Arizona, for those that don't know, and it was somebody asked me about it actually last night, a good friend of mine. And the Kyler, I think Jacoby Brissett throughout the last 2 weeks has showed why the Kyler Murray experiment should be over. I think it's time for us to just call it a day. Is Kyler Murray talented? Yes. At his apex level of playing, can he be really, really good? Yes. Sometimes great. But I guarantee you every single year he's going to get hurt. It's like week 6 through 8. Book it. Book it. Because it happens every single year. He's too small. And he plays dangerously. And the stuff that's come out about him and studying film, whether it be true or not, the fact that that's even a narrative that's being put out there, there has to be a level of validity to that. Somebody is saying that. And as somebody who lives in Arizona, who is connected to some people who are in the sports world out here, whether it be coaching or working for the Cardinals, I've heard dude just rubs people the wrong way in the organization. Now I don't know that, so I'm not saying that is true. I've just heard that, and I don't know what they would do. Do you restart? Do you rebuild? Do you put the Cardinal fan base through another rebuild? I don't know if there's any real good quarterbacks coming out of college from what I've seen this year that are going to be generational, that are going to be life-changing, organization-changing. But yeah, I think the Kyler Murray experiment should be over. Now let's go to the number 1 seed in the AFC East. Yes, I said that, and I already talked about the Bills, so it can't be them. It is the New England Patriots. And Drake, maybe. Like, maybe. He has played well, and I got to give it up to him. He has played really well through the first 6-7 weeks of the NFL, and they've looked good, man. And you got to beat who's in front of you. Like, if every time something happens, the argument is going to be, well, look who they played. And that is a legitimate argument sometimes, but you still got to beat who's in front of you. And the parity in the NFL is pretty good this year. Like, teams are kind of balanced. Everybody's right around 500. And the ones that suck, they suck. Like, they really do suck. They're bad teams. And, I mean, outside of the Saints, who I think have been competitive all year, who look they look better than what their record is, but they've just gotten the short end of the stick. And the Patriots have beat who has been in front of them. They have played well. Drake May has played well, and I did not think he was going to be. I didn't think he was that good in college. I didn't think he was transcendent in college. But again, it's about where you go. It's about the system. And once he got Mike Vrabel, who got ran out of town in Tennessee for whatever reason that they'll explain that. I don't know. That's Tennessee. But once they got Mike Vrabel, the New England Patriots, I was like, there it is. He is a locker room changer. He is a locker room culture kind of guy, just like Dan Campbell in Detroit, just like Sean McVay in LA, just like Jim Harbaugh to some extent for the Chargers, although it hasn't worked out that much this year, but everywhere else Jim Harbaugh's been. Mike Vrabel is one of those guys. He's one of those guys who can walk into a locker room and change some shit. And so he has done a great job. This staff has done a great job with Drake May. And he looks really good through the first 7 weeks of the NFL. I'm going to talk about this game because right before I got on to record this, I had to wait. I've been wanting to record. I had to wait because there was two close games, the Cardinals and the Packers. And the second game was the Giants and the Broncos. The Little Giants lose a big lead to the Broncos. What a incredible game. If you didn't watch this game, go watch the highlights because this game was incredible. First of all, the Broncos honored the late Demaryius Thomas with his number and name in the Ring of Honor, and he also got a statue out front next to Peyton Manning out front of the Broncos Stadium. And so that was beautiful, and it looked like the Giants were going to ruin that moment. They were up 19-0 going into the fourth quarter. And then the Broncos, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's more the Giants, but it was like Bo Nix took some smelling salts. Him and Peyton had a little powwow. Coach Peyton. And Bo Nix came out in the fourth quarter and put 33 on the board. They outscored the Giants 33-14. 33-14. So, no, excuse me, 33-10. 33-10. Was it 14? Yes, it was 14. No, 33-13 because, yeah, that's so the Giants, it was they were up 26, and then Broncos go up 29-26, and the Giants score. Though they go up 30-26, and the Giants score. Excuse me, I'm trying to just go through this in my head real quick because I'm not looking at it. I don't have it in front of me. I didn't write it down. This just happened. I watched the game and was like, okay, I'm going to record. They were up 30-26. The Giants score and miss the extra point, so it is now 32-30, and a field goal will win the game as opposed to tie the game. And Bo Nix went boom, bat, bada boom, bat, pow, right down the field. Spikes the ball with like 2 or 3 seconds left, and they absolutely drilled the field goal right down the middle to win the game. An incredible game. An incredible game. I look, Dayball, he's doing a good job of getting this making this Giants team competitive. And look, Jackson Dart is young, but you can't hang 19 on somebody and then lose in the fourth quarter and then give up 33 points in the fourth quarter. You can't give up a game's worth of points in the fourth quarter when you're winning. Like, Dayball's doing everything he can to freaking lose this job. Like, yeah, you made the right decision to make Cam Scatterbull a big part of the offense. Yeah, you made the right decision to go to Jackson Dart a little bit earlier than expected. And he's looked good. But you can't be conservative in the fourth quarter when you're whooping ass. You put belt to ass till the leather come off. Put belt to ass till the leather come off. Because, hey, you went Stefanski, dog. You went Stefanski, man. I don't know what Stefanski did. You know, he did some good things this week, so he might be all right. But Dayball, they been talking about getting you the hell up out of there. And you doing everything you can. Do you not like it in New York? I don't understand. Do you not like it out there? I thought you liked it. I don't know. Let go of the guys and lean on other guys that don't work out, that work out in other places. And then now you squandering 19-point leads. It's 26-8 at one point in the fourth quarter. 26-8. Like, that game should have been won by the Giants. But shout out to the Broncos, man. Shout out to the Broncos because, man, what a hell of a comeback. What a hell of a game. Now on to the NCAA. Major upsets. The parity this year has been incredible. I'll get to my Trojans, man, in a minute. Yes, I don't know if you hear me. I don't want you to hear me. I'll get to my Trojans in a minute. But I want to unpack the whole Penn State situation just real quick. I don't know if anybody heard, but I did talk about James Franklin getting fired from Penn State last week and how he had $49 million left on his contract. And it's been reported that Adidas, the sponsor of Penn State, actually bought that contract out. So whatever happened, and, I think the AD came out and said this was a tough decision and we really didn't want to base this off. Y'all knew y'all were going to fire him. Y'all were waiting. When you get fired like that, y'all were waiting. You were waiting. Yes, there were two bad losses. The loss to Oregon, not terribly bad. Although it might look that way now. But the two losses after that were horrible. But James Franklin was a winning coach there. And I know they couldn't win in the big game, and that's what was talked about. But the same thing was talked about Ryan Day until last year. And look at Ohio State this year. Like, sometimes it's just you gotta fight to get over the hump. And the way that the upsets were, who knows? Penn State might have had a chance to creep back into the top 12. I don't think so, but who knows? But they knew they were going to fire him so much that Adidas was like, yo, when you do it, here's the bag for that. Here's the bag. Oh, you don't need it now? Okay, but we have it when you need it. And they bought his contract out. Now, it's being reported that Matt Rule is a big candidate for Penn State. I saw something about Joe Brady from the Bills. If anybody remembers, Joe Brady was very responsible for the awakening of Joe Burrow at LSU, and he's obviously done a great job for the Bills with Josh Allen. And it's being reported, I think the owner of the Bills is a Penn State alum and a heavy donor for the Penn State. But I saw that and I kind of was like, okay, I could see that. But why? I feel like if you own a team, why would you pay him out to go to a college team that, yes, you donate money to and you're an alum there, but, man, college fandom runs deep and true, especially at the big schools. So it's possible. Let's see. Matt Rule is probably the real favorite right now, but don't rule out Joe Brady as a possible. If we was playing spades and I say I got 2 in a P, that P is like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you got that possible is like a jack, maybe a queen. You know what I'm saying? Like we play our cards right. This might get us a book, but we don't do it. I got 2. So look out for that. You'll never find a hairline like mine. Marcus Freeman and his thin hairline that I don't understand why he did that proves the Trojans are as thin as his hairline. Trojans look terrible. They beat themselves. Look, man, I'm a fan. Love my Trojans, but I'm real about it. Maeva did not look good. I don't know what the offensive game plan was because they came out the gate and threw a freaking screen pass. And if anybody knows me, or even if you don't know me, I'm going to tell you right now, screen passes are my favorite play. No. Out the gate, screen pass gets blown up. Doesn't work. And Mavis looks so good, and then he looks like it's like the game before didn't even matter. Like, yeah, man, I was really good last week. Let me kind of tear this shit up this week. Whatever I did last week, I'm not doing that. And the game plan, the run game just didn't get going. Defensively, I have no idea where they were so physical last week. And they just came out and it was like they were okay with beating Michigan and we're good. I don't know if they expected to like really just smash Notre Dame and cook them. I don't know. Maybe they had a little hangover from the Michigan win. I have no idea, but they did not look good, man. And Lincoln Riley's been inconsistent since he's been on the Trojans, man. And it's that defense, man. That defense has been inconsistent, but so is the offense this year. You got to pick what you're going to do. Are you going to lean into the run game? Are you going to build off the run game? Or are you going to be a pass-heavy team? Or are you going to be balanced? They have a bunch of running backs. I know a couple of them are injured, but, man, they're so deep at running back that they can really, really go to their third, fourth, fifth guy and it'll still work. But I digress. I'm going to hold – I was going to talk about Bill Belichick, but I'm going to hold off because I'm going to wait until I get a little bit more information. But I will say that the Bill Belichick experiment in North Carolina at UNC and the whole girlfriend thing is very interesting to me. There's some audio that was leaked out earlier this week. I'm going to do a little bit better job and make sure that I have more information. I'll probably go watch Pablo Torre, man, because he be dropping gems of information on his podcast. Love his podcast. And once I find out a little bit more, I will give my opinion, let y'all know what I think, and y'all can tell me I'm wrong because, hey, you don't say nothing. I do want to talk about overall the kickers this year. What the hell is going on? They have one job, missing PATs, missing field goals, shanking shit in like perfect weather, like just straight up shanking shit. Like you would think they was in prison as much as they been shanking shit, just shanking the fuck out the ball. Pardon my French. I don't know what's going on. You got one job, bro. One. I mean, missing some field goals here and there. Okay. But PATs? Wide left, wide right? Consistently every week? I mean, if you got a kicker on your fantasy, man, there's no real like solid kickers. There's a couple good ones. But man, through college and the NFL, just missing shit. Constantly. All right. It's going to be a little bit longer episode today because we've got a lot of sports, man. Let's get into Major League Baseball, man. I don't have it. It's somewhere, but I'm looking. I had to use it. I had to use my broom earlier because the Dodgers swept. The Dodgers swept. Yes, they did. And I know what's going to be said. They paid for their roster, blah, blah, blah. Hey, man. The game is to be sold, not told, man. You got to play the game the way the game's played. And if you can pay your guys, if you can get guys from other teams to come over there and contribute, and they do it with a multitude of guys, man. It's not just the big names. But man, Yamamoto has looked complete game the other day, looked great. The starting pitching has looked fantastic. Y'all know that's my word, fantastic. Blake Snell has looked good, and he didn't really pitch a ton this regular season between the injury and just keeping the pitch count down, and he is as healthy as ever in this postseason. Same thing goes for Glass now, as healthy as ever, and he's injury prone, but man, he looks good. Yamamoto is at one point we were like, man, I don't know. It's different over here. And added some arsenal to his pitching, and he has played very, very well. And they're just getting contributions from everybody. But Ohtani is like, we're going to have to really start having that greatest of all time conversation with Ohtani. Because don't give me Babe Ruth. What Ohtani is doing right now, 10 strikeouts and 3 homers in one game. That's unbelievable. And he is, if you watch Ohtani, he's a freakish athlete. Like, the way he runs, he's almost sneaky fast because of he kind of runs like a true runner. Like the way I don't know, man. Like his ability to steal bases, his base running is incredible. His hitting is incredible. His pitching is now getting back into form at the right time. Dodgers look incredible. So they are on to the World Series, and they're waiting for the winner of the Mariners and the Blue Jays. Man, Blue Jays have played very well. It looked like it was going to be bad for them after the first 2 games. But Mariners play better on the road, and their stadium is really hard to hit home runs in. I think Mariners hit 140 home runs compared to 108, somewhere around there at home. 140 on the road, around 108 at home during the regular season. So they don't hit that well. They don't hit as well at home. And Toronto looked really good. Toronto looked really freaking good. So Blue Jays might come back. They might mess around and find themselves in the World Series. We will talk about what actually happens next week, and we will dive right into it. But if you're a fan of the Blue Jays, man, they really calmed themselves down, and they looked like the team that we saw during the regular season. They did not look like the team from the first 2 games of this championship series, and they looked more like that regular season team. So shout out to the Blue Jays, man. Now let's get into the part of the show where we talk a little bit about some movies or some games or some TV shows. This is Turn the TV Off.
TV off, turn his TV off, turn his TV off, turn his TV off.
All right, for the part of the show where we talk about what is on the boob tube. I want to start off with this. The Tron movie came out and did not do well. And the big thing right now is a lot of these studios are recreating movies because of the intellectual properties. Like they already have names. They already have kind of a cult following. And so they're just recreating movies. That's why you're seeing a lot of remakes or, sequels or prequels or whatever, the Tron legacies of the world. And I think what you're starting to see is that it's not going to work because the original movies were so good and they hold a dear place in a lot of our hearts. And I think what you're actually saying is that people are like, man, it's just not good. Yeah, you can put a bow tie on it and you can doctor it up, put makeup on it and give it the same name, but it is not the original. And, a couple of the Tron movies were good. I did not see this one, so I don't have an opinion on this specific one, but I did want to talk about like this recreating movies or making sequels or whatever the case may be. Doesn't always work, and it looks like it's kind of going down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all know when we go down the toilet, it's down the toilet. So, yeah, we'll see. What do you guys think? Do you think they're recreating these movies with the same names, just different guys, or 20 years later, or whatever the case may be? Do you think it works? Do you think we should leave those classics to be classics? Should they be doing prequels or sequels or whatever the case may be? Spinoffs are great. I think spinoffs are they work, especially if there's a dope character that you kind of want to tell the story of. But recreating movies or sequels, prequels, I don't know. It just hasn't worked. But I will tell you what has worked is we started. I finished Terminal List, Dark Wolf, by the way, and please go watch the first season of Terminal List. And then right after that, go through Terminal List, Dark Wolf. Fire show. And the way it ended, dope. If you like twists and turns and whodunits and with some shooting, with some military action, go watch both of those seasons. They are incredible. We started watching Task on HBO Max with Mark Ruffalo. And this show is about, I'm not going to spoil it for you. The show is about kind of this humbug town, and Mark Ruffalo is kind of a washed up FBI agent. He's life is kicking his ass. And he is called to start a task force to go find out what's going on with this string of robberies. And it just goes crazy from there. So I'm only through like the first few episodes, but it hooks you in right away. They're doing a great job of character development. And I forget the guy's name, man. I'm so bad with these people's names. Let me look this up real quick. Y'all know me. I'm gonna do this on the fly. Man. Got it right here. This is where I got the handy dandy phone. Shout out to the phones. Tom Pelphrey. He was in I remember him from Iron Fist as the brother in Iron Fist. And he's been in a bunch of stuff too. And he always plays like a quirky dude. And he's the antagonist somewhat. Like his story is dope in this show. So if you guys need something to watch, something that's dope, if you have HBO Max, go run over and watch Task and let me know what you guys think. Do not spoil it for me if you've already watched it. Please. I'm going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll really be reading the comments, man. So don't be spoiling stuff for your boy. All right. Now, time for some music, man. This is What You Heard. All right. This is a special What You Heard. I don't know if anybody heard the news, but earlier this week we lost an artist, D'Angelo, to what has been reported as pancreatic cancer. And I wanted to. I know we always give flowers, man, and it sucks. But I did talk about this album before on the old show, and I want to talk about this album because this album for me as a child was really, really, it shaped my love and my ears for music, and that is D'Angelo's Brown Sugar. Being a kid and listening to this album and what D'Angelo was doing with the harmonies, with the riffs and the runs and the soul and the emotion behind it, the words, the smoothness. You know, Brown Sugar was that song was crazy at the time. You know, this is 1995, man. 1995, you know, being a young kid out in Sacramento, you know, and it just listening to this album was crazy, man. And you have songs like Brown Sugar. I said I got it, Jones in my bones, Jones in my bones, right? Lady, Cruising, the rendition of Cruising. You know, when I first heard this version, I'm a young kid, man, and I had no idea about this being a rendition. But because I remember listening to this song and being in California and thinking about, man, one day I'm gonna have me a little old school or something. You know what I'm saying? Have me a little 6-4 something. I'm about to be cruising, man. I'm about to be in the streets cruising, listening to Cruising. And just an incredible album, man, that really shaped how I listen to music and my love for R&B, man. My real, true love for R&B growing up. And, you know, this album, it shaped how I looked for R&B and different albums that I listened to. You know, this was the first album when I started getting back into having actual records. This was the first record I purchased. I have this album on vinyl right now, and it's special to me. And D'Angelo shaped a lot of the young musicians with that neo soul, that what he was able to do back in the 90s. And he kept that vibe throughout. And I know he had some demons. I know he had some stuff that happened to him later in his life, and some things that were just not going right, and some poor decisions here and there. But man, was he talented. And so I just want to say thank you, D'Angelo, for your musical contributions. And thank you especially for the album Brown Sugar. We appreciate you. And to his family and loved ones, I know y'all, this will probably never get to y'all, but our prayers and our love is with y'all. And appreciate you, man. So if you've never heard D'Angelo, Brown Sugar, go look it up on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your music, and just vibe with this album, all right? That is what you heard. All right. Now we get into the end of the show, where I'm going to give you a narrative, and it's based on something that I saw or thought about, or something that happened to me this week, or whatever. So here is my narrative. All right, this narrative comes from a group chat that I am a part of, and something happened. I'm not going to get into too many details about it, but it's with some people that I somewhat work with, and just, you know, part of one of the teams that I'm a part of, and some things came up of, you know, he said, she said, and I don't know why I thought of this. And I hope this, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, I hope this can help you out as you go through your journey, because this is something that is learned and has to be learned, and it's tough. And it is this: when you start climbing up the mountains, hands will suddenly appear, but you need to ignore them, because once you do, the top of the mountain will appear, and it will be clear. And what I mean by that is, in life, as we're going through journeys and you're getting better and you're doing something different, you're doing something different than what you were doing, and you're changing your life and you're trying to get better at what you're doing, or you're going after the thing you love, it's two things happen. You'll have people that champion you, for sure, but you'll have people that have been around you that'll start feeding negativity. Sometimes it's by saying, hey, you can't do it. Hey, I don't believe in you. Okay, that's sometimes easy to deal with. Get the hell on. Sometimes it depends on who it's coming from. But sometimes people will infiltrate you and infiltrate into your circle and act like they're doing you a favor by trying to divide you weirdly from the thing that you're trying to do. And it won't be so apparent sometimes. Sometimes they'll do it sneakily. They'll say something, or they'll say somebody else said something. They'll sneak this in a way. Yeah, I like that, but, you know, when you did this, yeah, that's nice. Blah, 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 blah. And then you start doing really well, and then people got their hand out that ain't help you. Probably talk shit about you when you started your stuff. And sometimes you'll feel the need, the necessity to help those people out because you're a good person. But you got to ignore that because you are on the road to something great, whatever it is. You are starting something that you've been afraid to start. I don't know what it is. I know I took a year and a half to step away from podcasting and thought every single day about coming back to do it and was terrified to do this show on my own. Terrified. Put a plan together. And I worked and I wrote down ideas and I fought through it. And I said 1 week, screw it, man, I got to do it. And I dropped the show. And yes, it's only the second episode, but I do believe that I am on the right track. I don't know. You guys let me know. And the welcome that has happened this week through social media, through the YouTube page, through the audio has been beautiful. And I appreciate you guys for that. If you are just tuning in, if this is your first week tapping in, I appreciate you for that. But you got to ignore the naysayers, man. You climbing up the mountains, man, hands will suddenly appear. But ignore them. Then the top of the mountain will be clear. So if you are working hard to do something or you're going back and forth, whether you're going to start that thing you love, whether it be pick up the piano or start a podcast or maybe go back to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case may be, go do that and do not let anybody deter you from what the hell you're doing. Because I promise you, you work your ass off and you work every day at it, you will be at least good, if not great. And it will happen for you. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody try to divide you from the thing that you are working hard to get. And if you have worked hard and you're on that path already, and you feel like, man, I've been working hard, it just hasn't happened. And then somebody comes into your life to say the wrong shit to you. Now you quit. Why? You've worked hard. Work until you hit that wall and then you break that freaking wall down. So that's my narrative, man. Keep working. Keep climbing that mountain. Ignore those hands that are trying to pull you down. Kick them off of you. And man, once you get to the top of that mountain, I promise you it'll be clear. I promise you. So appreciate you guys for tapping in to another week on the A Ward Show. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their grandma, their cousins, and their mom and them to pull up on me. Make sure you hit the link tree in the description and go follow your boy on all of the socials. Whatever ones you like, pull up, leave comments on the reels and the videos and all that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you want to listen to your boy, make sure you subscribe on wherever you get your podcast from. But I appreciate y'all, man. I really love y'all. Love y'all for taking this journey with me, for allowing me to be vulnerable and talk to you guys about the shit I want to talk about. So I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great freaking week. Hope you kill it. Hope you do everything you want to do and more. I'll see you drive turkeys next week.